I'm here, so you better come correct.
What's good, everybody? This is Fern, aka Fina Oraya, author of Before 7:30, Practical Ways to Empower Yourself and Save Your Relationship Before Giving Up. Buckle up, guys, for real, for real. I was so excited about making this video that I started talking to you guys before recording this. And I really murdered some of you in my head. That no time for nonsense side of me was going in. And actually, this video and the one prior started out with me wanting to do a video on how some men's actions contribute to the death of their wives or girlfriends based on some observations that I've made, but it morphed into these videos. And that's because I had to acknowledge that we both do each other dirty sometimes. But in this video, I'm going to help out you guys who aren't getting the message, and in the process, show you how to get it together. Before you come for me, I hope you've had a chance to watch my last video where I talked to the ladies about their healing work. And I think you'll appreciate that video as well. Likewise, I want the ladies to listen to this video as well. Now, warning, only a mature man will be able to handle this video until the end, because we're about to discuss some things that many of you do not want to hear. But before I get into the zone, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and share this video to help me reach more people and grow my channel. Please give me some feedback in the comment section about this conversation. Can you relate? What have you done to work on your issues? Talk to me in the comments section. I appreciate all of you, my new and returning subscribers. Now, moving on. Take a seat and listen. If you are young and you are navigating and finding out what all of these grown men are complaining about. If you can't seem to have a lasting relationship, the ones who think that there are no good women out there. And if you have some serious issues to work on before you even talk to a woman. If the guys that I'm describing here aren't like you, and I'm happy for you, your special lady, and your children, if you have any, if that's true, then pass it on to someone else who can benefit from hearing my words. You'll hear me use the words some and many a lot because I don't have an agenda to crucify all men. And I know that there are some awesome guys out there, but I wish that those guys would help their brothers more because some of you guys seriously need the help. So, what is wrong with some of you? Listen to this. I just responded to a tweet from Darren, whose tweets on relationships are so helpful. I just love how he talks about his beautiful queen and how she talks about him. Now, he posted something from some other guy who asked how he should punish his wife without beating her. Seriously, that was the question. So I'll get straight to the point. Some of you should not have a girlfriend nor a wife. Point blank, period. I don't care how old you are. Some of you wouldn't even date you if you were a woman. Now, I'm not here to hurt your feelings nor sound demeaning, but man, have some of you been paying attention to your actions and your behaviors? I've noticed how some of you are extra sensitive about everything except about handling your business. So don't feel like I'm attacking you. As a matter of fact, I want to help and show you that it's okay to listen to someone who is showing you a side of yourself that you never took the time to acknowledge. I'm just asking that you expand your mind to learn something and listen attentively. If you ask a guy, he's the man. He knows this and he knows that. No one can school him on matters of the heart, women, life, etc. But you guys who don't like to listen just end up destroying yourselves and messing up other people's lives. If I give you a list of how to heal and deal with your own issues and traumas, many of you wouldn't take it too seriously. Because sadly, it's been put out there that only women need healing. Like working on the issues that pain a man is for weaker men. Do you know how childish that sounds? Why can't someone tell you how immature you act sometimes or how irresponsible you act sometimes? You want people to respect you, yet you have no respect for others? You want your woman to love you and cater to you, and yet you disrespect and abuse her? You want to have a woman in your life And yet, you don't know the first thing about what your woman really needs from you. You think you know what she needs, or are you listening to her tell you what she needs? Because all women don't have the same needs. You pretend that you don't have any problems, yet your problems could fill up a tank. You're out there flexing, pushing out your chest to show how macho you are, how big you are as a man. Yet, you don't even have much for yourself, but instead get upset when someone calls you out on your bluff. Some of you have very little to offer your lady but a dirty mouth and hot air. Again, I'm not trying to bring you down to a size of an ant. I'm bringing these up because some of you don't want to hear these things. And in you not wanting to hear these things, we're not getting anywhere. Those of you who only have a dirty mouth and only offering hot air, you have the audacity to flex and try to take your woman's power away if she lets you, just because you can't be a responsible grown man. You feel like I've cut you already? Well, you shouldn't, because healing or being authentic about your issues is never nice work. When you picture your future family, if you don't have one yet, who is taking care of your children and your wife? Do you respect the women in your life, whether it's your mother, your sister, your auntie, your daughter, or your niece? If you're married or have a family, do you make sure that your children have what they need? Do you make sure that your woman isn't depressed because she has to leave you, and that means raising her children without you because she's had to take care of you and the children since you've contributed very little to the household? Are you taking good care of your own mental, physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual health? That last one is big, but most of you ignore it, and one day I might have to make a video on that. If you think I'm being biased, listen to my last video where I spoke to my sisters. I know that we both need to clean up our acts, and usually the women will listen and get to work. But you guys, you're a different story. No one has time for the nonsense that some of you bring home. We birthed and nurtured you, and now you think you can walk all over us. You can turn around and act like you are more powerful and mightier than us, and that we should bow down to you even when you're mistreating us. And a lot of you are mistreating that special woman in your life. And that is part of the problem. I've heard some of you complain about women just like the women are complaining about you. I have yet to know one man who is always complaining about women in general who was being honest with himself and his own shortcomings. Don't lie to yourself. The only ones that I can vouch for, the only guys that I can vouch for here are the nice guys who sometimes find themselves with a vampiric woman. And I wish more women would wake up and adore those guys more instead of thinking that they're too nice. A wild and crazy man can only bring the wild and his crazy home. It might sound like I'm being too harsh. My voice isn't sweet enough and feminine enough and all of that. But like I said in the beginning, this is for mature men. Those who understand that you have to change the oil in the car because it won't change itself. We can't just gloss over our issues like they don't exist. So please slow it down a bit and pay attention. Yes, you're hearing this from a woman. And you might be thinking, well, she's just going to be biased. She's going to sound just like another woman. But if you keep hearing these same issues or some of the same thing over and over and over again, maybe it's time to listen. Because eventually you're going to want to date, right? Eventually you're probably going to fall in love with a woman. And then what? What are you going to do then? Many of you are miserable and unstable, and as much as you pretend that you are not, you know the truth. When you have personal issues, whether from your past, your job, your own dissatisfaction of how your life is going, you take it out on everybody, including your woman. And I keep including the women in this because majority of you who are going to be listening to this are either going to have a wife, a girlfriend, or will be dating. because my channel is not for children. Although I do advise my son, who's a teenager now, to listen to these videos. It's very important that he learns before he starts dating. Some of you have given up and you just don't care. Many of you are still following this old useless act of not asking for help, thinking it'll make you look more manly by not asking for help. Although you might be damaged, you want to be treated like a king, but then don't know how to be one nor act like one. Do you see the problem? It's not breaking news that some of you have been beaten up psychologically, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. And what that does is put extra pressure on your woman to do more to keep the family intact. Yet you don't even recognize that's what's happening. Now, this is not a debate on how men are so bad or toxic. That's not what I'm talking about here. My goal is to shed light on the various issues that both men and women are dealing with. We're both blaming each other, and we're not getting anywhere because we're not working together. We're not helping each other enough. And we're not working on some of our issues before we get involved romantically. That was the premise for my book Before 7:30. Because it's so much easier when you work on your issues instead of bringing someone else into your life who might have even more issues than you. Then you both just spaz out or go 7:30 on each other. And that's exactly what's happening out there. I know that no one wants to hear this, especially you guys. How dare I say you need to be by yourself for a while to work on yourself, or work on yourself first before being involved with someone. Well, if you don't want to listen, then all you'll do is bring problems to your household. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Arguments, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, etc. Society tells you that you have to be a strong man. You have to lead your household. Yet many of you can't even lead yourselves, much less a household. Again, kudos to those of you who are doing a great job, who are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially stable. But that's not all of you. And we're trying to help you out. That's how you have to look at this. When you hear these things, don't look at them as someone who is attacking you or who keeps bringing up the negative. Just look at it as, well, what can I learn from this? I know that not all men fall in this pool of unattractive and stay away from them type. I bet every man who watches this video will say, I'm one of the better men. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. But what makes you a better man? This is why we're having this conversation. What are the better men doing that the stay away from them guys aren't doing? As far as I can tell you, they love themselves. They study their behaviors and attitudes, and they make corrections when necessary. They're not so stubborn that they don't want to listen to anyone. They take action. They often look for ways to improve their lives. They have mature friends. They don't hang out with other guys who are lazy and who are irresponsible. They understand their women. They pay attention to their women. They know that they came from a woman, so they care for and respect women, even the ones who test them sometimes. So maybe you're finally agreeing with me that you're damaged. You've been hurt. You are angry. But what are you doing about it? Are you still a victim? Are you helping yourself out of your situation that is tormenting you, your lover, or maybe your children if you have any? Or are you seeking help? Are you helping yourself by talking to the older, more mature men in your life? Are you educating yourself on how to improve your life and your circumstances? Or are you just blaming everybody for your problems? Don't pretend that all is well when it's not. You would be surprised to know how many of us are walking around here and we're not mentally and emotionally stable. We are carrying that bag of pain, that bag of hurt to every relationship, to every occasion, to every job. You see, it's not just women who are carrying that bag. But how far can you get with such a heavy load on your back? Some of you are going through certain issues. Some of you are having a tough time because that bag is too heavy for you. And you don't even know that you're carrying that heavy load on your back. So I'm encouraging you to be honest with yourself today and acknowledge that you are not yet healed from your past wounds if you are just using and abusing women. If you don't even care about your life. If you don't even care about yourself. Because true healing, unless we're talking about a cut, true healing, unless we're talking about a physical cut or physical wound, doesn't come with age. Forgiving yourself for your mistakes and doing stupid things in your wild days don't just come with age. Loving yourself doesn't just come with age. Deep emotional wounds don't just go away. Just like you might get a scar from a deep external wound, think of the health of your heart. Do you think it too doesn't get scarred? The mistrust that you have in other people, your uncontrollable anger, your carelessness, your mistreatment of your woman and your children, if you have any, your lack of commitment, your stubbornness, your aggressiveness without reason, your propensity for seeking attention and always wanting to fight. Those are all scars, you guys. Some of you go from women to women and just have children and don't take care of them. And some will say, well, men can do that. Actually, no. Someone lied to you. Not taking care of your woman and your children is equivalent to you being worthless and useless to that woman and your children. So do you want your child or children to think that you are a worthless, irrelevant, and minuscule dot in their lives? Think about that. Don't blame this on society. Don't blame this on your dad. Don't blame this on your sex drive. Don't blame this on women. Don't blame this on anybody else. Just see yourself for what you are, if this is what you're doing. Some of you don't like to be told what to do, but you don't know what to do. You don't like to hear people disagree with you. You don't like for people to correct you. You have a bad attitude, and yet you think that you're a hero who should be catered to. Again, I'm telling you to make a commitment to yourself today that you will cut that out, that you will help yourself by acknowledging your pain, wherever your pain is coming from. Yes, you have feelings and you hurt just like we do. Some of what you heard when you were growing up were just useless talk that aren't serving you today. If the pain is too unbearable and too heavy for you to resolve alone, then seek counseling or consider talking to somebody you can confide in. You are worth so much more than living a life of drama and unfinished business. Ask yourself some questions like, how did you end up where you are today? But you can only undo your past by being and doing better today. What you do today will be your new past. All you can do is learn from your previous lack of discernment and become a wiser man today. You have to accept when you mess up, forgive yourself, okay? Forgive yourself, learn from it, and move on as a better man. Everything that's happening to you right now is not without purpose, but you must know when to stop the old, useless, and damaging patterns in order to fulfill your purpose. I'm not a man, but I'll use myself as an example. I can tell you of every mistake, and some were bad, that I've made that got me to where I am today. But the best that I can tell you is that those mistakes resulted in me writing a book, opening my heart to those who need guidance about certain situations, but especially regarding their relationship or their spiritual development. No one is exempt from negative experiences. Some are just more extreme than others. But who wants to only have negative experiences? Remember that the next time you find yourself being the drama initiator, always being the aggressor, starting fights with everybody. Remember that the next time that you want to run from your responsibilities. Remember that what you do will come back to you. Whether it'll be that your next girlfriend or wife will treat you like crap, or that if you have daughters, someone might treat her just as badly as you treated all of the women in your life. I hope you are carefully taking mental note of what I'm saying to you. Healing is not always just about dealing with matters of the heart. Our behavior and actions have a tremendous effect on what bugs us. So work on your anger, your lack of self-control, your selfishness, your only one way of thinking. How? By acknowledging that you need to stop complaining and get to work in order to feel better. Listen to some positive videos. Talk to more positive people. Join a self-improvement mail group. Get more educated on life. Live with a purpose. Learn a skill or use your talent so that you don't torment everyone because you are unhappy with your life. Stop being so stubborn. Stop abusing and disrespecting women, especially the mother of your children. Stop freeloading and expecting women to take care of you. Start taking accountability of your actions. Be a good example for your children if you have any. Start over if you have to. Take one step at a time. You listening to this video in its entirety without thinking, oh, that isn't me. I'm good. I don't need help. Is you taking one step already. Now continue to build and acknowledge your flaws. You hear me say stop quite a bit because some of you are doing too much of too little. Your healing doesn't happen by itself. That's it for today. Please subscribe, like, and share so that more people can find my videos. Comment down below like I said before. Check out my other videos if this is your first time on my channel. I appreciate you for sharing your time with me. Check out my website, before730.com. That's before730.com for all of my products. Like I said in my last video, my book can help you deal with some of the issues that I talked about here. So if you haven't ordered a copy already, please check out my website or maybe give someone a copy. And guys, let's leave stubborn and macho alone. It won't rescue you when you're old and alone because you couldn't get it together. I push for open communication and greater understanding between us all, men and women. We can do this. We must do this for our own sanity. I don't think I murdered you guys too much in this video because I had a lot of strong words coming through, when I thought about making this video. And hopefully you learned something from this. Until the next video, happy living.